Welcome back, everyone. It's wonderful to see you again. Thank you for all the video clips you've been sending us. I've loved seeing our kids at home working out with their moms and dads. I've loved seeing you training on your own. And I really appreciate all the feedback that we got by email and on Facebook. That's terrific. We're very grateful for that and hope to keep you training, keep you moving forward, and keep you motivated. So we received lots of emails, as I said, from moms and dads. One of them had a really good question in it, in that she said that we usually rely on the instructors to help our kids to do the warm-ups and the stretches, and wondered if you had a routine for that. So first of all, I hope you all know the Daily Dozen. I will make sure that you have an opportunity to get a link for that, or you can email me and I'll send you a PDF of that. But also, we want to make sure that you have the warm-ups that are appropriate for each of those stretches. So you want to do two things. One is make sure that you're doing some kind of general body warm-up before you're doing any difficult physical activity. And then the second thing is you want to make sure that you are warming up the specific muscles or the specific muscle areas before you really challenge them with static stretching or pressure stretching, or even really strong stretches that you're doing standing and swinging your leg. So let's make sure that we're being sensible, make sure that we're graduating up through the levels of difficulty, and I'll give you some examples on stretch number 1 through 4 from our Daily Dozen right now, and then hopefully you can figure out some on your own for all of the others. But again, the idea is warm up the area that you want to stretch. And so I'll give you these examples. If you want more examples of stretch number 5 through 12, then I'm very happy to do those as well for you. So stretch number 1 is a relatively gentle stretch, if you're careful, with the hamstring. So you can do a relatively gentle warm-up with it. So one way you can do that is just to switch legs each time, lifting up like this towards your chest. And this will work the areas that we're going to be stretching in a minute. It's also pulling on them a tiny bit to get them ready and warmed up for the stimulation we're going to give them with static stretching. So next is, if that's too easy for you, you're hitting your chest every time, is bring your leg on the outside of your shoulder. Still be careful to keep your balance. All instructors have seen our flexible kids whack themselves in the face with their knee when they're kicking or stretching. So make sure that you're using range of motion that's sensible, and make sure you're aiming at targets that are not going to get hurt from these kind of things. Okay, so stretch number 1, I think we all know. So we're going to put one leg out in front of us. And if you want to make this a little bit easier, you can put your foot underneath your leg before you stretch, or you can put it right beside your leg, or you can put it on top of your leg, depending on how flexible you already are, how much you want to challenge yourself. So make sure that you're not leaning down and leaning forward. That's not the idea of the stretch. The idea of the stretch is to activate the hamstrings, so you're going to come up as tall as you possibly can and lean your chest forward. So lean out with your chest. Don't let your ego get involved with how far your hands are reaching. Just up and lean forward, keeping your back straight. You should be able to feel it. If not, again, you can put your foot on top of there. You can grab the bottom of your feet. You can grab your toes and pull your heel up off the ground. So then change sides. And same thing. Sit up really tall, back straight, neck straight. Lean forward, but more think about leaning out, forward rather than down. And then you can reach, but that's not the goal. The goal is to make sure that we're well warmed up for other stretches and kicks. All right, so number 2 is a little bit more pressure on both the hamstrings at the same time, and so it will get your attention a lot more. So that one we may want to do a little bit bigger warm up on that one. So we can put 2 hands in front of us, make sure you're down over the balls of your feet, keep your heels on the ground, and squat all the way down as deeply as you can. So all the way down, use the full range of our knees, full range of our ankles. And again, you should have been doing some general warm-up so that this will be safe for you. Again, if you have knee problems, knee surgeries, then just do 90 degrees or whatever you can safely do, but you should be able to use the full range of your knees, full range of your ankles, if at all possible. Okay, so stretch number 2. Same idea as stretch number 1. Pull your toes up towards you and sit up really tall and then lean out. Try to put your chest over the top of your toes. Alright, so I tell my karate kids, you got to get your nose to your toes, but it takes a nose like mine to be able to do that. So lean forward, lean forward. I told you that my dog might be trying to teach some of these lessons too, right? So you might be able to hear him. Alright, so stretch number 2. Alright, stretch number 3 seems like it's a hip stretch, and it can be depending on how you do that, but it really is mostly a hamstring stretch again. So what we can do to warm up the hip area is something like jumping jacks. So let's go in the same direction. We're going to have our legs going when we do stretch number 3, or, this is another good one for stretch number 12, is star jump. Star jump, okay? So doing a whole jumping jack in the air. Alright, so stretch number 3 means that we're going to have our feet however part is comfortable for you. But again, there are some things that will give you cues that you're stretching too far. One, of course, is your body talking to you. Another one is that your feet will either flop over or your knee will bend. So that means you're probably stretching too far. So 3 ways we can do number 3. One is to lean over to the inside like this. If you can reach your foot, that's fine, but that's not the goal. And then up. Again, body straight, spine straight, neck straight. And lean over on the inside. Reach wherever you can. If you can grab and pull, that will help you get a little more stretch. And then down the middle, same thing. Not trying to put our heads on the floor, trying to put our chest on the wall opposite us. So lean out forward. Now there are lots of people who can keep their spine straight and put their chest on the floor. That's wonderful. Do that if you can, but make sure your chin is up, the chest on the floor. If that's too easy for you, put your belly button on the floor. Okay, so leaning forward this way, all right? Stretch number 3. Now, stretch number 4 is for shoulders. So warming up the range of our shoulders. So we all know our favorite shoulder stretch or warm up is push up. So plank your body and press. And then your shoulders should be warmed up for stretch number 4. So belt as high as you can get it in the air, and you can just roll forward and back a little bit to stretch the frontal deltoids. Okay, hope that's helpful for you. And again, let me know if you want some specific ones for the other stretches that we didn't get to today. Thank you. Alright, White Jackets, so there's one more piece of your curriculum that we haven't worked on this week, and that's forward rolling and back rolling. So let me first of all say, only practice this if you have somewhere safe to do it. Check with mom and dad, and they'll let you know if it's a soft enough surface. Now I'm doing it on a wooden floor, just a little thin mat down, but you need something that has a lot more padding and is a lot safer for you, so you don't bump your elbow or bump your shoulder when you're doing this. So there are a million ways to do front shoulder roll. The one we've been working on in class is set up like this. The idea is for you to put your arm flat on the ground so you don't fall down onto your shoulder, or you don't fall off your elbow onto your shoulder, or you don't fall off your shoulder onto your hip. So we want to make sure it's one smooth continuous motion without any falling or bumping. So the idea, of course, is to keep your head off the ground, not let your head touch anything. Yes, your hair might touch something, but your head should not touch anything at all. So, here's the way I like you to work on it. First of all, put one foot in the front and the hand on the opposite side down. So this is going to be the base that we're going to scoot our weight forward onto, is one leg and the opposite hand. Then next, we're going to put our shoulder on the ground like this. You can see my shoulder's a long way from the ground, right? But I've got my arm almost straight, almost straight. So the way I'm going to get my shoulder on the ground is to lift up my other leg. So you might want to lift it up and look at it. So look at your knee and then lift it up off the ground until your shoulder's all the way down on the ground. So you have to bend your front leg a lot and lift up the back leg. So one more time. Step out with one leg. Put the other hand flat. Tuck the one behind you and then lift up until your shoulder's all the way on the ground. By looking back at your leg, that will help you to make sure that you are putting no head on the ground. Okay? No head on the ground. So, try it on both sides of your body. There'll be one side of your body that's way more comfortable than the other side. So, you can give that a try. So, this time, this leg, this hand. Which hand is that? Opposite hand of the leg that's in front. Again, put your arms straight back behind you and then lift up and look. Lift up and look. Alright? So that when we roll, only our shoulders going down. So you may have to bring this foot a little further back. You may have to bend it more, come up on the ball of your foot. But you certainly will need to lift up the other one. So we can even do it from our elbow on the ground, but that means you have to roll down to your shoulder. And that's when I'm afraid that you might bump your shoulder. Okay? So try to do it one continuous motion. So from standing, step out, one hand down, tuck, and try not to let anything touch on the floor other than this big semicircle that you're making. Okay, backwards. So we want to do almost exactly the same thing in reverse. So what we're going to do is make sure that we are looking on the side that we want to roll, because we're going to roll on this shoulder, not on the back of our head. If you start rolling backwards and you feel any pressure going on your neck, you need to stop. You need to stop and come back out. Even if you have to flop down to the side, do not let your roll keep going. You should not be using momentum. In other words, you shouldn't be using speed to get over on this. Otherwise, it could really pull your neck. So, a couple of things here. Number one, look the direction that we're going to go. Make sure your spine is bent. You can make sure your spine is bent by keeping your knees really close to your chest or your chest really close to your knees. So this helps keep your spine like a rocking chair, okay, so it can roll more safely back. Third thing is, make a space for your head with your arm like this, okay? Make a space for your head on the opposite side, okay? So a lot of people try to brace on the same side that you're rolling. That's actually going to stop you. You need to just give yourself a little bit of help on this side. So, number one, look. Number two, keep your spine bent, so my knees are going to come up with my chest. My feet are going to come off the ground as soon as I start going backwards, and my hand on the same side. So look and roll. My head never touched, and then I can come up into wherever I need to go. Okay, so one more time. Practice this both sides of your body if you can, but remember, it's going to feel weird on the other side. So I'll do it facing you one more time. So 3 things. Do you remember what they are? 1, look. Number 2, knees and chest together. And number 3, make a little brace. So everyone see my hand is like this? Then I'm bending it and putting it beside the other ear. So watch those 3 things. Look, close up, and make a brace. And my head never touched the floor on anything. So hopefully that will be helpful to you. I'll look forward to, if you have a safe place to do it, see you doing that on your testing for your next golf. Thank you. One of the most natural things we do is to compare ourselves to others and others to ourselves. This may be one of the most normal things we do, but it can also be one of the most harmful. So instead of comparing, let's focus on serving others. Serving others gets us outside of ourselves. Serving others breaks down barriers. Serving others makes a difference in their lives and in ours. Serving others shows us our best selves. We and our families really need this right now. Then, if we feel really compelled to make a comparison, we can make a healthy comparison of ourselves today versus ourselves yesterday. So, how did Ben Franklin feel when he discovered electricity? Shocked!